Joe Flacco, you old dog, you. He's taking the Browns to the playoffs. Can they get the 1 seed? Oh, they can. Deshaun Jackson is joining us, not just this Friday, but like a lot of Fridays coming up. Very excited about that. Carmen Vitali will be hitting up the NFC North. There's lots of ins and outs in that playoff picture in the NFC. And we're going to get you set for the amazing slate of action. You want to know about the Cowboys? You want to know about them at home against the Lions, what they can do? We'll get Kansas City's woes figured out with Haley Lewis as well. We've got lots to get to. An informative show to wrap up 2023. Florida living room in Florida. My parents are driving me bananas. My mother just woke me up and I got out of the door and she just handed me a thing of eggs. That's it. And she wanted to sit and watch me eat eggs. And I said, I don't know what to do with this, mother, but she's gone. Thank gosh, they're out doing whatever they're doing so I can do the show. And so you and I can talk about things that are really important, not my wild Polish parents. Mr. Joe Flacco, unbelievable. 4 straight wins with the Browns, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Insane. He had an interception, but as we talked to Phil Simms, and who echoed the great sentiment of Bill Parcells, you got to take chances. If you're not throwing and doing the thing, you don't have any magic. He has the magic. He goes for it. This is a fearless old dog. We're talking about people eating up the Jets, the Texans, the Bears. Who's next? Okay, he's a total stud. The Browns fan base besotted by a former rival. How amazing is that? It shows you human beings are amazing. Human beings are capable of forgiveness, of opening their hearts. They're capable of a little forgetfulness, even all if you're out here clinching and snatching up playoff berths at 11-5. And they didn't just clinch a playoff berth, y'all. Oh, no. The Browns could still manage to grab the 1 seed by the horns. Unbelievable. Here's what needs to happen. First, the dog pound has to support the Dolphins on Sunday. Do you hear me, Cleveland? You are Miami fans. They got to beat your division rival, the Ravens. If the Ravens win or tie in that game, it's over. The Ravens snatch up and are your NFC number 1 seed. Let's say Baltimore loses, though, which is possible against the Dolphins. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. The Browns, then they can dunk on the world at large. They can de-pants the whole conference and get the 1 seed in week 18. Here's what would have to happen. They got to beat the Bengals. The Cleveland fan base who rooted for Miami in week 17 would have to turn their backs and totally Lando Calrissian betray the Dolphins and root for the Bills to beat the said Miami team. And the Ravens would have to lose to the Steelers. Could that happen? That's a little iffy, but these things can happen. They happen. Look, we got Joe Flacco out here at 38 slanging it. 2 guys like David Njoku, who needs to get a little warmth here on a Friday in a freezing, frigid Florida. David Njoku, incredible. You don't put him on the map, not his play, his end zone celebrations. He used to do the splits. That's how I knew who he was years and years and years ago. But now he's the best tight end in the National Football League. 6 receptions, 134 yards last night. After the game, this is the kind of story you love to root for. This is a guy who's pure joy, saying, we're going to the playoffs, baby, running around saying that. And he has been truly, that's not just hyperbolic, and I'm not letting the world get carried away and swept in the emotions of it. He's the best tight end in football over the last month of the season, thanks to his sort of relationship or his chemistry with his quarterback, that wily old dog, Joe Flacco. Stefanski, by the way, we should say, as we are FanDuel Sportsbook, do we have this? He leads, I believe, the Coach of the Year odds over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Myles Garrett, front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, and Joe Flacco, second in Comeback Player of the Year odds. It's so interesting. Let's see what the Dogs can do. Congratulations to them. I'm not going to talk about the Jets side of things. Let's not pretend, he beat the Jets. This was a top 5 defense that's given basically everybody the business outside of Joe Flacco for a long, long time. All right, it's Friday. Let's preview some of the slate. I'm sitting on 3 pillows. I got my plate of eggs. I somehow managed to get Starbucks. Starbucks is like my best friend. Wherever I go, I've been on this world tour for quite a bit. I always find a Starbucks nearby. So thank you to everybody working hard during these holidays in this weirdo, bizarro world that we live in between Christmas and the New Year. But let's do it. We're going to preview things and we're going to go for 2. Okay. These are the people that are most plugged in and ready ready to fill us in. I'm making a goal for myself to end the year. I'm just going to ask two questions, two very important questions about the teams and the matchups that we are all glued to for week 17. And we started the show in the AFC North. Let's stay there with a friend. Big Dolphins-Ravens game on the slate. As I just told you, lots at stake, not just for those two teams, but for the conference at large. Sarah Ellison, you're crushing it. Ravens Vault co-host, saw your thing with Brady, loved every second of it. Phil Simms was on my show yesterday, a legend, two-time Super Bowl champ, Mr. MVP. He picked the Ravens to win this game. Darius Speller, who loves Florida, loves Miami, he picks the Ravens. Hamilton, there's so much momentum. There's depth, there's confidence. If there was one concern you might have about Baltimore in this matchup, what is it?
Hey, before I get to that, Kay, I just have to say, you just talked about Joe Flacco. I have a Super Bowl ring because of one Joe Flacco. He once a Raven, always a Raven, but right now he's a Brown. So we cannot celebrate these victories. He is the enemy right now. Now, on to your question about the concern. I'd say coming into it, the Ravens are coming off of a very emotional, huge win from across the country on Christmas night against the San Francisco 49ers. The defense was just on fire. Everything was clicking right. So the question is, do they have the energy? Could this be, can they muster it up again? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Can they muster it up? But I think they can, because the number one seed is on the line, and you better believe they want this first round bye, home field advantage, everything. They are locked in.
Now, there's great defenses on both sides. I think everybody, we have the electric offenses. We have who's going to do what. I'm actually going to ask Deshaun Jackson, which team, if he could go into one locker room and play for one of these teams and offenses in this matchup, where would he go? I'm very curious. He's, of course, has some past and some experience with Lamar Jackson, none with Tua, but I can't imagine he doesn't want to be out there with Tyreek Hill. I'm going to ask him that. So the offenses, they're covered. When it comes to the Monk and Fangio chess match, who wins it and why?
Well, when you talk about having chess pieces, right? I feel like Monken has an unfair advantage. When you have Lamar Jackson, it's like you traded in a couple pawns for a few extra queens. So Monken has all these queens with all these moves that he can make. Kay, Monken has unlocked a side of Lamar that I think fans always knew was there. Steve Young was just on my show last week about last year this time. He was blasting the Ravens for not developing Lamar and his passing game. He knew it was always in there. Lamar knew it was always in there. Louisville fans always knew it was in there. It's unlocked. So now it's more difficult to guard him. Now, Fangio, as we all know, Lamar is 20-1 against the NFC, right? So it's partly because they don't see him often. Fangio used to work for the Ravens. He played there. He knows Lamar. But does he know this side of Lamar that Monken has unlocked? That is the question. So I think Monken has the leg up with several queens on his side to play with.
Several queens is a perfect way to put it. You are crushing it. Thank you, Sarah Ellison. You guys check her out on Ravens Vault. And I will say, and I'm not just like giving myself some credit here, in our morning meeting yesterday, and I hadn't slept all night, or Sarah left already? I want to tell Sarah this. Sarah, I was like, you know what? Is Monken getting enough credit? We were preparing our questions for Phil. What did I want to ask Phil? And I was like, I really think I didn't want to ask Phil because I don't want it to take credit away from Lamar and his MVP bid and everything he's doing, because I think people love to take credit away from him. So I didn't want to ask it. But I did have the thought of what role does Todd play in all of this? And has he gotten enough love? And it's really nice to hear. You're basically saying he might be the key to getting this win and locking up the 1 seed against the Dolphins.
I think he's just empowered Lamar. I think it's always been in there, and he's empowering him. He's letting him take more control at the line of scrimmage, make audibles, just listening to the plays that Lamar wants to run. So I think he is just letting Lamar blossom in a way that hasn't happened in the past.
Okay, but those are our two things with Sarah Ellison of the Ravens Vault, and he somehow has gotten him to limit any turnovers and mistakes, which we've seen those splits from the beginning of the season until now, if they try to lock up that 1 seed against the Dolphins. Thanks, Sarah. Happy New Year to you, and let's take the next game on the NFL calendar, Lions at Cowboys. Woo, RJ Cho, editor of Blogging the Boys, sorry. What could be more exciting than this game being at home? When I'm looking at Dallas, I'm saying, where are they playing? Everyone's making this huge story of it. Let's get into it. Everybody must be happy the game is back in the D, but let's not pretend that just means they're going to dominate a Lions team that is on fire. They're top of the class in the NFC. You said the Cowboys defense is looking like a bottom 10 unit. How can Dan Quinn, DQ, and that defense contain what is, I believe, a top 3 Lions offense this weekend?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a big night. Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor, and I think everyone's hoping the vibes from that translate into a successful Cowboys performance at home, which they're known for. The reality is they are playing a bit poorly on defense. I know they have a reputation that kind of precedes them. 4 games ago, the Cowboys didn't force the Seahawks to punt a single time. That was a game in their building. They did force 3 turnovers against the Eagles, but you could argue some of that is luck. They obviously got run all over against the Bills, and last week stood a little bit taller against the Dolphins, but still were unable to kind of get things done when they mattered the most. I think the answer is obviously always, something that starts and ends with Micah Parsons. You mentioned Myles Garrett, the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. That has been Micah for the last few weeks, and it really feels like he needs to have a huge Herculean type performance. Another Deron Bland pick six certainly wouldn't hurt. The Cowboys are obviously at their best when they're able to get to the quarterback and stymie him and turn the ball over. That's something that hasn't been happening as of late. They barely got to Tua last week, and they hope to change those fortunes against Jared Goff.
And hopefully they can. It would be huge. But I do want to ask you, beyond just this matchup, is there any reason that you've seen, as you're closer to this team than I am and the most of us are, anything that you're seeing that gives you reason to think this team can get it done on the road come playoffs?
I know that they got trounced in Buffalo, and you could argue that some of what happened early, was a result of some questionable penalties and some self-induced errors that can be corrected, things like personal fouls. And while they did lose on Christmas Eve against Miami, they were put in a position, Dak Prescott and the offense where they had the ball in their hands and they had to go down the field and put together a big time drive to take the lead. And they did. And, they ultimately lost because they were up against a really talented offense and Mike McDaniel and Tua and Tyreek Hill and everybody. But I think that was a box that people were waiting to see be checked, is to kind of go live up to that specific moment. And so the fact that happened, granted in a losing effort, I think does provide some optimism for the tough places they'll play in the postseason.
Bonus question for you. Do you think Micah Parsons will come in my show in 2024?
Yeah. I mean, Micah likes to do shows. So if you're as pleasant as you are, I think you stand a very, very solid chance. He's quite popular. And I think especially if he wins Defensive Player of the Year, he's going to have no issue kind of bringing that around and showing it off.
Yeah, I hope he does. I think I might have met him just once. I don't know him very well, so I definitely want to meet him. And he's going to have a huge role this week against the Lions, of course, at home, and then down in the playoffs. We appreciate you, RJ. Happy New Year to you. Congrats on all the success and all the things you've got coming your way for working your ass off in this crazy ass industry. Okay, let's keep it going here. Let's talk about what's going on. Kansas City Bengals. This is a big one. Let's talk about it with a host for Bleacher Report. She covers the Chiefs for the KC Sports Network. Haley, how are you? We've got Haley joining us. Haley Lewis, how are you?
Girl, I'm good. I don't have a bowl of eggs though, like you. I'm kind of jealous.
It's so weird. I think it's like a Polish parent thing. They're hard boiled. It's not like she's gave me like raw eggs like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I'm seeing these tweets of people. I'm not like raw dogging them. Everybody, calm down. Okay, Kansas City. Let's get to it, Haley. Kansas City. They're struggling on offense. I'm not used to this. I mean, I am in an era that didn't include Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to Travis Kelce. They've lost 5 of the last 8. I'm looking for answers. Everybody has a take. Kurt Warner, Phil Simms, there's sloppiness, Dante Hall, the drops, no enemy, change the offense. What is the answer to you when I say what is plaguing the Kansas City Chiefs on O?
Girl, you're looking for answers here in Kansas City. We're looking for them too. That's the unfortunate part, is that no one's able to give you this tangible solution. And I think that's what people are really wanting as a fan base, is be able to latch onto something, give something a little bit of blame. And it really hasn't been anything except for this culmination of all these issues, right? You see Mahomes being uncharacteristic, like you see a lack of execution, and then it turns into frustration. We see the throwing of helmets, all this stuff going on the sideline. And really what I think it comes down to is just playing sound football and not being able to do that on the field like they have in years past. So all these things are coming together. Yeah, you could blame the wide receivers. You could say the fact that EB's not here. You could blame it on Nagy if you want to. You could say Mahomes isn't what he's hyped up to be. But really what it comes down to is the fact that they aren't capitalizing on the simple plays that they know they can do. They have the talent, and you know that as well. They have the talent, majority of it returning from last season. So the reason for me, I think, is maybe just this lack of discipline, lack of execution, because they have the ability to get it done. It's just not happening.
That comes down to Bieniemy. I, like a month ago, asked Deshaun Jackson, who'll be joining the show today, is it Bieniemy? And he was very quick to say, no, because he's such an Andy Reid guy, right, from his days back in Philly. And he goes, saying that it's on Bieniemy, sort of, he didn't say this, but his answer said it, that it would take away from what Andy Reid means. Andy Reid saying he needs to help Mahomes. When I hear discipline, I hear Bieniemy. When I hear, them self-sabotaging. It just seems like the distraction, it might be a culmination, like you're saying. It's crazy. But they do have this. I will be super worried if they can't get something done against a Bengals defense who, I love the Bengals. I love Coach Lou, but the facts are the facts. They're 31st right now. They're 31st on D. They should be able to get it going. Now, when it comes to Kansas City's defense, this is a second-ranked unit. They're tops, but they're getting tested by Jamar Chase on the field this week as he comes back. And also him doing what I hate that he did and telling reporters the following.
Yeah, we know what we're capable of. Everyone in the league does. That's why KC double is the way they do.
What stands out about that secondary for the Chiefs?
If I'm being honest, nothing. They just know how to play us. They know the leverages. They know what splits we in. They just know what we gonna do certain movements. They throw a little doubles at us to stop the two best players on the outside, and that's all they do. I mean, it's not really like they got a Jalen Ramsey on these squads. You know what I'm saying? So, not much.
Okay, Haley, he's saying nobody stands out. Let's fix the situation. Who stands out on that defense to you?
I mean, first off, here's the thing. When you're talking trash, don't do it after the Chiefs just stomped all over the little Burrowhead quote that they had going into the AFC title game last year. I don't think it's the wisest thing to do. He knows exactly what he's doing. You know it too. He's given them that bulletin board material. Coach Reed hates when players feed into that kind of stuff. But have you not heard of L'Jarius Sneed? Have you not heard of Trent McDuffie? They have been locking up the secondary. And I know they're banged up a little bit right now in the secondary. Does Chase play? Does Sneed play? I mean, that's going to factor into this one, but you're fueling the fire. And as a Bengals, player, I don't see why you would do that. You're going up against a Chiefs defense that has been stout this season, the best under the Patrick Mahomes era. Why would you stir the pot? I mean, my man, do what you need to do. But if you come at the king, right, you better not miss.
Yeah, he also hasn't. He's not 100% healthy. I believe he was a limited participant in practice on Thursday. He's got a joint sprain, but he also did say, which I love, that he enjoys this back and forth between the Bengals and the Chiefs. That he thinks that they're the best, talkers in the business, and that they like to go after each other, which I quite enjoy. So we'll see. I think he was coming after the lack of a corner more than anything else, but I think that there's a lot of baggage from that, from the stuff last year. Haley, we so appreciate you. You are crushing with my guy, BJ Kissel. What you guys are doing is absolutely insane. And not only, of course, with Bleacher Report, but KC Sports Network. So, Haley Lewis, we appreciate it. And we will maybe hopefully talk to you in 2024. I
appreciate you, girl. Hopefully talking to you then.
All right. Talk to you soon. We'll be back, guys. We've got Deshaun Jackson on the show. Carmen Batali, her from Fox, but she can cut it up with the best of them on the NFC North. So we're going to get deep into that. Maybe we'll talk about PopTart being edible, full of eggs, not edible. We'll get to it. All right. We've got Deshaun Jackson, guys, coming on the show. We've got Richard. You didn't change that question. Carmen Batali is on the program also. We are going to get into some mascot stuff. We might get into some New Year's stuff. Eric Wheelo, how you doing on this final show of the year? Do we have Deshaun ready?
What's that?
Oh, we don't. He's not ready. Okay.
Oh no, I'm here. I was going to tell you, Kate. I'm actually I'm excellent.
It's because your last name is Polish.
What's with our Polish families that you just open the fridge and there's just hard-boiled eggs in there?
I don't know. She just and they were warm, and she handed them to me like this.
I got handed a liverwurst sandwich yesterday.
Oh yeah, listen, it's called paszczatowa, and that's what it's called in Polish, and they love it. They love it.
It was awesome. Kay, we got some questions coming. It was Ask Kay Anything, a little New Year's edition. So this has come from Bernard. 3 favorite interviews of the year. We could go with one. Shoot. It's a little heavy lifting, I know.
Hard. That's too hard. There's too many.
All right.
That's so hard. Let me think. A sneaky good. Eric, remind me. We do like 5 a day. They're all so good. I think Deshaun Jackson was up there though. I loved talking to him. He was a delight. So we right away were like, how can we get Deshaun on our show more? And hopefully we'll have him on a lot. I'm trying to think who else. I remember Eric Kendricks came in studio. I loved that. Let me think about that. But I love it. Everybody has something great to add. So very few duds. We're blessed.
All right. We have one from Tangibles. Kate, you look great in a blazer. What's it like to fly first class?
Are those two things correlated in some way that I
not at all.
Understand?
It's just such a non sequitur. I think it's a compliment.
I fly overnight, so I don't know, and I don't know what seat I'm in, what's going on. I just pass out, and then I wake up 4 hours later. I somehow keep taking red-eye flights, like they're enjoyable. I neuralizer 5,000 Men in Black myself every time after, and I'm like, I can do a red-eye. Great, sounds good. Not a good thing.
So some of the dentist gas, you just huff that before you get on.
Oh my God, I had the dentist gas. I'm puffy right here. I had the dentist gas the other day. I had the dentist gas, and I loved it.
And now we're gonna.
It's not the dentist. It's actually called Pronox. It's a machine, and it is what Santa did not bring it to me, but I think it's illegal. We don't have Deshaun. Yeah.
I was told we have some traffic coming.
I don't know what he just said, but Wheelo, that was delightful. Enjoy your eggs, and we will talk to you in the next break. All right, let's do the seat. Let's do it.
James Cook is a player that impressed me most this season.
Kyle Hamilton, some question marks late in the draft process, but the Baltimore Ravens did a great job drafting him and doing an even better job using him.
Sam Laporta, tight end for the Lions, baby.
Max Crosby, guys, he's electric. He's all over the place. He's a psychopath.
Got to go Gardner Minshew. I try not to stay on the offensive side, but what he's done coming in for Richardson has been amazing to watch.
Let me check my answer. I do got love for Christian McCaffrey, but I'm fine. I'm a big bug guy. I'm going Mike Evans.
Puka Nacua. And I'm not surprised, covered him while he played there at BYU. And also when he was at Washington, he was a dog on a mission. Took that mantle of #1 wide receiver and then still maintained it when Cooper Kupp came back. So Puka's more than just a rookie. He's out there balling.
I didn't hear a lot of that. I heard most impressive player. My script says that was most surprising player, but I saw Sam Laporta on there, Gardner Minshew doing what he did. We were kind of on top of that one because of Michael Pittman coming on our show and discussing all of that. But what's crazy is that, I don't know if is Wheelo here? Wheelo, you sort of manifested a dentist thing, asking me about the dentist. And that just reminded me of when Deshaun stood us up for my first show at the Link. I went to that Thursday night football game. I believe it was Titans Ravens, and he was supposed to be on, and there was all this hoopla. And I'm at the Link in the sports book, and he was at the dentist and didn't come on. And are we getting stood up by Deshaun Jackson yet again? Is the question.
I mean, do you know how hard it is to get a dentist appointment during the holidays? It's impossible.
Yeah,
so
I got one. But I wore a blazer.
You're Kay Adams. I mean, if I call them, they're telling me to go F myself. They're like, okay, guy. I go to urgent care, dude.
If Deshaun, but are we worried about Deshaun's between Christmas and New Year appearance? It's probably kind of on us that we did that. If he doesn't show up, that's on us.
It might be, yeah, okay. We're going to take the ownership. We're going to own that one. But I believe it. I believe in Deshaun. He's coming through. He's going to do it. We got Carmen on the show too.
Like Phil Simms believes in Jordan Love and in your coach, Matt LaFleur, which was very surprising to me. But we're going to get into some other stuff. Wheelo, appreciate you. Love that you're on the show today. Love that. Before the meeting, I go, wait, does anybody want to go on the air today? Hamilton's got the jab. Anybody want to? And Wheelo's like, I'll do it. Fine. Great. And now you have eggs and we are good. And we're taking your questions, guys, at Up and Adam Show. Carmen Vitale will be joining us. Hopefully we get Deshaun Jackson. I mean, we've got so much to get into. We've got a huge slate of action. Week 17. It is our last show of the year. No show Monday. So grateful for all of the guests that I can't even, that's all you need to know, that I can't pick my 3 favorite interviews of the year. And I was just thinking, like, I have Deshaun Jackson coming on the show. I have the names that come on that want to chop it up with us. Even, Phil Simms yesterday, I'm like sitting there and he sort of is putting me in a group of media with him. I'm like, Phil Simms, legend. Cannot believe we're getting these insights and getting to do this show every day, and me getting to do the show from wherever I might be is even cooler. So lots to be grateful for as we head into 2024 and lots of exciting stuff on the horizon with FanDuel. So I did want to also acknowledge and sort of say thanks to Smirnoff, who they're going to be part of our Super Bowl, which is going to be so exciting. We're taking our show on the road again this year, and it was so epic last year. And they're going to be partnering with us, and they partner with us all season long and with the NFL. They have a delicious, truly amazing signature football-themed cocktail lineup that you guys can check out over at FanDuel.com/Smirnoff. And they're giving FanDuel fans more ways to win. They've done it all season. It's the Smirnoff number 21 Sunday primetime cocktail pick 'em. Finally, that rolls off the tongue easily here 17 weeks in. But every single week, of the season through the Super Bowl. You can go to FanDuel.com/Smirnoff, answer these 7 cocktail-themed questions about the Sunday night game. No right or wrong answer, just sort of what you think, and you get a free shot at $10K in prizes. So the completion Cosmo question of the week, no Hamilton for this one, but the one that they have over there is Jordan Love versus, speaking of Willow and the Packers and Phil Simms, loving him, franchise quarterback of the future. Sure, Jordan Love versus not Nick Mullins, but rather Mr. Hall on Sunday night. So Jared Hall is getting the gig here. Kevin O'Connell announced a switch up at QB yesterday. More completions between those two signal callers. I'm going to go with Jordan Love because he got the Phil Simms nod of approval, and he had 24 completions the last time he faced the Vikings defense on 41 attempts. So he's not afraid to sling it up against a Minnesota defense. They need this game badly. They know they're not going to have Jair out there, so Jordan Love's going to have to do his thing. Justin Jefferson's back there just flaming the league left and right, Ladger Carr style. So the question would be tougher, I think, for me if Nick Mullins was getting the start, but Hall, I know we like the magic of the backup quarterback, but just his second start, I don't see him out completing Jordan Love on this one or really coming close. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that matchup and the other matchups, including on the Lions side of things as they face the Cowboys with the wonderful and delightful Carmen Vitale of Fox Sports. So we're going to keep the going with some K-makers. I hit you guys. Pop, pop, pop. Here's my favorite one, kangaroo, buddy. All right. Yeah. Was that booing or was that cheering? I don't quite know, but we're going to give you guys some touchdowns that might happen. I'm going to say Brandon Ayuk plus 100. Niners, they need to bounce back. Rough go against the Ravens. We've been talking about it ad nauseum. This week, Ayuk gets the Commanders. Okay, this is an Ayuk game. Their defense ranks 3rd worst at stopping the pass, and that's on top of the fact Washington's given up 30 points per game over the last 6 weeks alone. I like Ayuk in this one. Secondly, let's go with Chris Olave at plus 220 against a Buccaneers defense that ranks dead last in the league at passing yards allowed per game this season. So in my head, 1 + 1 = 2. Derek Carr has a big game. Benefits his #1 target, and Chris Olave. And I believe he had a touchdown last week, the second-year wide receiver. So I think Olave scores again this week. And my long shot for this week, Kyle Pitts to make it 2 straight weeks connecting with Taylor Heineke. Plus 360, that's worth a sprinkle, okay? Especially because the Bears give up the 6th most fantasy points to the tight end spots. I would say if you go to like fftoday.com or you look at the splits or the points against, tight end is the easiest position to figure out what's working and what's not as far as fantasy points, generous and stingy defenses and so on. They're vulnerable to the position. So I like Pitts to get in the end zone this week. All right, we're going to take a short break here. Either Carmen can do half an hour with me, or I'm going to get an update on Deshaun Jackson. So let's with me here, guys. And Happy New Year. Let's do it. Can you hear me?
I'm here, Kay.
We still just don't have an answer to this Chiefs question. I love the Todd Monken love. I loved that. I love that she said that. Any more questions?
Yeah, I do. Ryan L wants to know, what bands or artists are you currently listening to? You got all the records behind you. I mean, like, what's your new artist of the year? I guess that's the big question. Like in 2023, who did you discover? Who did you find? Who did you love?
That used to be my thing, but I haven't really gotten into doing that. I went to some good shows though, but it was more like famous-y people. I would say the best show I went to in 2023 was the Lumineers. Well, I don't know. I can't know if I can say that because I went to Adele, and Adele is insane. But outside of like Adele's voice, I would say I went to the Lumineers show at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was insane, and they're amazing. So I listen to Gloria every morning before I leave my house to come to the show, and I dance around my house singing to that. I'm trying to think of who else I really like. I don't know. I did the whole holiday vibe all week. I listened to Celine Dion's "Oh Holy Night" 19 times in a row, like I do every year. I'm just blown away by the great Celine Dion. So that's what I did here. I'm really cool.
Well, I was on that Lumineers Christmas album, the holiday album that they made. That was on a loop.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. If you can't see me, I mean, I got a Death Cab poster behind me and a Postal Service wearing this. So yeah, I've been full hipster all Christmas, I guess.
Postal Service was life-changing back in the day. And I like Death Cab. I like Death Cab too, just not as much. But I was such great hype person for sure.
I just saw them at the Bowl. It was incredible. And they're touring again. Check them out. Still got a shot.
I love that. I want to think of who I want to see in 2024. Maybe Taylor Swift. We'll see. All right, let's do this. Thanks, Eve.
The best thing I ate this year, I had to go with one of my oldies, and that's going to be a pastrami sandwich, man. If y'all know what a pastrami sandwich is, then y'all know what I'm talking about. They boil it, they put it on a baguette, mustard, pickles only, stack it up, and it's huge.
Everything I ate on Thanksgiving, literally, sounds good.
Kansas City barbecue. Jack Stack.
Salted chocolate chip cookies. Every Sunday I'm in the studio. My guy, producer Jim, brings in cookies his wife makes. I crush them. 11 a.m. Doesn't matter the time. I'm crushing those cookies.
Zips Golden Wings in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Potato pie.
Had to be my wife. She made this garlic bread with like a meatball on top of it and like put it in the oven and baked it. And she's made it like 3 times this year. And it smacks. It's the best thing I've had all year.
That was awesome. My next guest covered the best thing I ate this year, probably everything at Thanksgiving with my mom, who I just made fun of for bringing me eggs on the show. But she crushed a Thanksgiving meal, so that was a good answer by Darius Butler. My next guest covers the NFC North for Fox Sports. She is a dear friend. We've missed her around these parts. Carmen Vitale, best thing you ate this year?
Can I brag on myself and say that it was over Christmas because I'm going to brag on my boyfriend who made seafood gumbo for Christmas. That was really, really good.
You made seafood gumbo? Is it like a 5-hour siege?
It was like we made the stock together in the morning and it was simmering all day and then threw everything together. It was an all day process, but it was a wonderful, wonderful dish.
Wow, you two spent Christmas together. Things are getting serious.
Families were there too, Kay. Oh, it was a lot.
I could not be happier for you. That's so amazing to hear. But I do want you to brag on yourself because a little birdie told me that you went the bear, yes chef, no chef, feast of 7 fishes. You did not do that. Not on a day when there's football. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I did that. I don't think I sat down all day, Kim. Kay. I can't even speak anymore. I don't think I sat down all day. Honestly, I was going to bring you pierogies if we were in studio. I swear I had a whole little to-go thing because we made 5 dozen pierogies. And my family's half Polish, half Italian. So we meshed the two, Feast of the 7 Fishes and the Polish Vigilia together for Christmas. So I did clams in linguine sauce. I did scallops. I did all those pierogies, the charcuterie. It was nuts. But it was so good. Yeah. Everything was amazing.
By Polish Catholic family, you're not supposed to eat meat on Vigilia. But I made like a big pot of turkey chili because I was in Wyoming and it was just I needed to do it. And my mom was on FaceTime just like guilting me. Like it was like, I had to lie to her.
Berating you.
I told her it was for the next day, but that was as aggressive as I got. The Feast of 7 Fishes just reminds me of that episode in The Bear. How close were you in that madness to Jamie Lee Curtis's rendition? Did you drive a car into the house afterwards?
No, I didn't. But Kay, if I smoked, I would have been chain smoking the entire time because it was stressful. But it all turned out really well. I had a bunch of cocktails. At one point, I just sat down on the couch and just chugged the remainder of whatever cocktail I had in my hand at the time.
That sounds like your college side talking, which I appreciate.
Absolutely. Nostrovia.
Listen, I love you, Carm. Carm, let's just keep the food talk going here, because in a world where I felt like I got by this Pop-Tart thing, because I don't love the college ball game. So for me to have to learn about the Pop-Tart thing, we spent time, precious real estate, talking about the Pop-Tart thing. And then the Pop-Tart mascot isn't even edible. We got yesterday, but you loved it.
I loved it. Are you kidding? I don't think I've had a Pop-Tart in years, but the first thing I want to do right now is go out and buy a box. This strawberry Pop-Tart who has a literal death wish, like the existentialism and the nihilism, just like this undertone of like, I don't even know. It was incredible the way they pulled this off, the marketing strategy behind this. I'm so for it. I love it. No,
they sold us that it was going to be an edible mascot. So I wanted, you're talking about nihilism, pacifism, you're throwing out Big Lebowski term. I wanted cannibalism. I wanted them to bite into like
I wanted that too.
That's what it was. We got completely duped. The second you went into the toaster, I was like, this is an absolute waste of my life and waste of my time. And then but I did say, and I love it, this is doing really well on Twitter, your half-eaten Pop-Tart mascot and Two-Face, obviously, from Batman, Harvey Dent.
It was the first thing I thought of. Are you kidding? With the eye like hanging out, I was like, oh my God, this is Harvey Dent as a Pop-Tart. And it's incredible. It's doing some numbers.
It's so gross. Carmen, you might have to hang out with me a long time today, because I think I got stood up by Deshaun Jackson again.
Oh no, D-Jax. Him and I worked together in Tampa. His mom is great.
Great.
She's great.
We love to hear. Oh, well, let me hear. Are we getting Deshaun? Is he coming on? Oh, maybe we can get Deshaun's mom. I think we have a better chance of getting Deshaun's dentist on, to be quite frank with you. At this point, it's a weird time. Like, nobody even knows what day or what time it is right now. Everyone's like, is it Friday? I don't even know. Okay, let's talk about. We have these cut-ins. We're talking about New Year's. The best thing you ate, the player that impressed or surprised you the most. You're covering the NFC North, but you know all 32 in and out. Is there a guy who impressed you the most in 2023?
I'm going to stick with my division, because there's a guy that has just blown my mind every single week, and that is Lions tight end Sam Laporta. Yeah. He is close to every single rookie tight end record. He's 6 or 7 behind the rookie record for catches, which is 81. He is 74 right now. This man has 101 targets on the season. He has been just a constant for Jared Goff in his first year. And I talked to actually a good friend of both of ours, Rob Gronkowski, about him I guess it was a month ago now. And Rob was all like, well, he's going to have more catches and yards than me, but he's not going to have more touchdowns than me. Guess what? Sam Laporta is knocking on the door of Rob's rookie touchdown record, which was 10. And Sam has 9. And he still has 2 games to go. So sorry, Rob. I don't know. He might surpass you here.
Do you think he scores against Dallas? I bet he does.
He could. I mean, I think Dallas is going to try and everything they can to take away Amon-Ra St. Brown as much as possible. And Sam Laporta is so good at creating separation and playing so much bigger than he is. He's only 6'3", which is actually undersized for a tight end, but and he just plays so much bigger, and his catch radius is so big, and his route running is so good. I could go on and on about this guy forever, but I do think that he could be a factor against the Cowboys.
We need one elite tight end in the playoffs. Travis Kelce's not doing nothing, so we got. I'm kidding.
Travis still the greatest.
You'll figure it out. Okay, when we look at this, we had RJ Ochoa, who I'm sure you subscribe to and know well, blogging the boys. He was on a lot of confidence in the Cowboys, especially there at home, all of that. Lions, a lot of confidence in this team. They're feeling themselves. They pretended to not care about winning the NFC North, but they absolutely cared, and they're feeling themselves, and they should. What part of this team or what position group is giving you the most confidence they can go into Jerry World and break their 15-game home winning streak?
It's easily their backfield between David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I wrote a whole article about this on FoxSports.com because they are the best running back tandem in the league, and I don't think it's close. These guys have combined for 20 rushing touchdowns this year already, and also they allow Ben Johnson, who is the most creative play caller for this offense, to be multiple in the run scheme. You've got David Montgomery, who's just a bowling ball and can run through tackles. I think he has the 6th most missed or broken tackles of any player in the league right now. Then you also have Jahmyr Gibbs, who they are so good at getting to the outside. He bounces off guys literally. He's got the most yards after contact of any qualified running back in the league, and he's in his first year. It's just an incredibly versatile, well-rounded scheme. And if you allow the Lions to get their run game going and open up the full breadth of their playbook, they're going to be a really tough opponent, even going into Dallas, where the Cowboys have been so good at AT&T Stadium.
You put their defense on the map for me before the season as something to be like, you got a little something to prove. Like, what? We got a couple questions about this Lions defense. Now they've won the division. They're on their way to the playoffs. All of that. Is this defense, which isn't bad, but they're not great either. Can they make noise, or do they need to improve on something? Or I guess, what do I need to know about this defense as they get past the Cowboys and have bigger fish to fry, bigger 7 fishes to fry?
I am still concerned about the Lions defensive backfield because of the fact that they are just not healthy yet. The good news is, though, is that CJ Gardner-Johnson's out for this game, but they are expecting him to come back for the playoffs, and you can kind of get more of a safety rotation into the lineup there. They're still a little thin on the outside. Jerry Jacobs was back practicing fully this week, but Cam Sutton is dealing with an injury and he's questionable for the game. Fully expect him to play, but that is absolutely the weakness of this Lions defense, is the pass defense. And that's putting a lot of stress on this defensive front. So if they can get some guys back healthy, and it seems like they're going to, between not only the secondary, but the defensive front between Aleem McNeil and even James Houston, whose window was just opened, they could be getting healthy at the right time to really actually make a playoff push and host a playoff game if they finish out these 2 games strong in front of all these wonderful fans that have just been starved for any sort of success.
Are they just living their best lives? I had a very cute Packers fan who knows the NFC North very well. He's very handsome and he's wonderful. And he said if the Lions get a home playoff, he thinks that would be a huge difference maker in how everything shakes out in the playoffs. And I agree with that. But more importantly, these fans are hopefully living their best lives.
They are. This is the first Christmas they've gotten to go into in 30 years, knowing they've got a division locked up. And Dan Campbell and that staff don't shy away from the fact that this team means so much to that city and means so much to those fans. Yeah. And they can have a true home field advantage. Because let me tell you, Ford Field gets loud. I've been there when it gets loud. It's deafening because the press box is open air and I love it. So these fans deserve it. Dan Campbell knows that they deserve it. Jared Goff, you saw him get emotional after last week because he was there for 3-13. It means a lot to all of these guys. So hosting a playoff game for the Detroit Lions would be huge and really propel them to, I think, a really good run in the postseason.
Is the quietest you've heard Ford Field all year when Jack Harlow was performing?
Yes. They brought out this tarp and I was like, what is that? Is something under that? Also, it was stored on the sideline for the entire game. I was worried guys were going to
I just think it's funny because everyone's let it go. I'm the first person to say like this story's over. Like I have no patience. I mean, a story will be still like everyone's talking about FLACCO. I literally go, I don't want to ask Sarah Ellison about FLACCO. FLACCO's over. FLACCO was like I'm over it. But the Jack Harlow thing, like I can't get over it. It is my story of 2023 that did not get enough love.
That's your Roman Empire of 2020.
Yes, my Roman Empire is that man with like the raccoon coming out of his head with the
just behind him for no reason. Why?
And only for like the first song, like he needed like a parent to walk his hand out there, and then he like left because he was doing fine on his own. Like nothing against Jack Harlow or the performance, but the set design.
I was excited for the performance too because I really like Jack Harlow. I'm a big fan of Jack Harlow's, but just like it was just set up with between like by the end zone, and it was so far away, and it was so. Who designed that set? I need to know. They're on the naughty list.
Funny. It was funny. Yes, yes. But we love you, Jack Harlow. We love you. Okay, let's talk about what do you know? What do you know about the Vikings? Because Justin Jefferson, I was so grateful to get a bit of his time, and he giggled the whole interview. I
so
love
sweet.
Justin Jefferson. He's so, and I feel like he's evolving. Like he's taken like Jordan Addison under his wing, so he's sort of like an OG in a weird way, which doesn't make sense to me. So we talked about that a lot
Because he's so young.
Really, yeah, he was really complimentary of Nick Mullins. Very. He's the guy. It was like I talked to him like 20 minutes after Mullins was named the starter. Now they're making a quarterback switch again. What do I need to know? This is a must-win game.
It is. And they also know that they need to see what they have in Jaren Hall, because at best, you got this guy in the 5th round out of BYU. And if you can get a viable backup out of him, that's a real win for Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and his staff. And I think that there's just not a lot of continuity anyway in this offense right now. So why not see what you have with him? I think Justin Jefferson was very complimentary about Nick Mullins because that's the guy that he knows the most next to Kirk Cousins. If you think about it, Jaren Hall, I mean, Justin Jefferson was out for a good chunk of the year. Jaren Hall was operating the scout team offense. He hasn't had a lot of rapport with Justin Jefferson yet. But that being said, Justin Jefferson has been complimentary of Jaren Hall, saying he has something. I think he's a good quarterback. He's got some potential to spark this offense up. And I just think that Justin is such a good team player that he is going to try to elevate whoever is under center. And he has the capability to do that, because you saw it with Nick Mullins last week. Nick Mullins was just kind of throwing up the ball and being like, well, F it, JJ down there somewhere, right? Like, that's exactly what Justin Jefferson brings to this offense, is you can just throw that ball up there and Justin's going to come down with it more often than not.
That's fine. That said, this is their 4th quarterback change since Kirk Cousins left. And we know Justin Jefferson, to me, I was like, are you just not signing your paperwork for your extension because you're waiting to see what Kirk does? Because that's what you should do. And you basically said as much, and he came out this week and made it, he made his plea. He wants Kirk back. He likes himself a dad energy in that locker room. Do you think that the way the season has gone for the Vikings sort of helps or tilts the scale in favor of Kirk coming back? Or do you think it's let's rebuild even more?
I think it does to a degree, but I also think that the staff, at least, really wanted Kirk back in the first place. I know that they didn't pick up, or they didn't extend him and let him play out the last year of his contract, but Kirk was playing some of his best ball of his career. I mean, he was on pace for his career highs in both yards and touchdowns, 4,953 yards, 38 touchdowns. That's what he would have ended up with had he been able to finish the season. And Kevin O'Connell really, really likes Kirk. Kirk can operate this offense better than most, and probably anyone right now. And I think that that's what you're seeing with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was Offensive Player of the Year with Kirk throwing him the ball. So of course he wants he wants Kirk Cousins back. And I think that they will eventually re-sign him, and they're going to be able to get him at a discount because he's on the wrong side of 35 coming off an Achilles injury, which is awful to say, but I do think that they wanted him back regardless.
I don't have time to
I'm
talk
about to be gay, so it's fine.
35. Coming off Achilles injuries at the quarterback position. I just don't have enough time or patience for that to wrap up 2023. One more question, then we're going to take a break. You're officially the co-host of the show, because I want to have fun with you on the other side and just talk shit about New Year's Eve and stuff like that. So let's do that. But I do want to ask you, with this matchup, Justin Jefferson's going crazy. Mullins is lobbing it up. Now Jair isn't out there, which is like it's just the funniest little ditty of to wrap up the season. Are there you're so deep. You really go deep. Give me guys to put on my map that you think will impact this game, sort of like the X factors. I know that you like Tucker Kraft.
I do. I love Tucker Kraft for this Green Bay Packers offense, especially with all the injuries that they've been rotating through recently. I mean, the game against the Carolina Panthers basically started and ended with Tucker Kraft. He got a chunk play on that first drive that really got them going. You're going to see it here. Yeah, they're rolling it. So you got 12 personnel. Both tight ends are out there, and they've been pounding the rock with Aaron Jones so far. But then Tucker Kraft comes in and engages Brian Burns off the line, coming out of a three-point stance. Like, he's really just in there to block. He then disengages, leaks out, and then 80's over there throwing a pick block for him, and Kraft gets a chunk play out of it. And then he goes and hurdles again, even though against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that didn't work out so well for him, but he won't stop doing it. He's got a little bit of a screw loose, Jordan Love told us this week. So I love Tucker Kraft for this. And then towards the end of the game, You watch it, and he is getting these guys into a chip shot field goal to win the game, essentially. Look at this. I mean, out of this 3-point stance again, it's just really a really impressive throw from Love. I mean, in a tight window right on the money, allows Kraft to kind of spin out of this. It's just a stick route, but he runs it really, really crisply. He's sure about his hands, and he's really Love's only option on that play. So he then gets some extra yards and gives Anders Carlson the easiest field goal of his life.
So he's crushing it. We had him yesterday. I think we have him as one of our DFS picks. So for daily fantasy, this kid's somebody you have to have in your lineup, everybody. And Carmen's right. Hamilton's right. We're right. Get him in your lineup in this matchup against the Vikings. For the Vikings, is there somebody that you like that's a little under the radar that needs some love?
Yeah, I have really loved Ivan Pace Jr. He's an undrafted rookie linebacker, and he had to come in for Jordan Hicks, who suffered that really scary kind of clot injury to his leg. But this was the interception against the Raiders. I was in the building for this, sealed the game for the Vikings, and he's up on the line. The Vikings are showing pressure, but then he drops into coverage. And as this play progresses, you can see the coverage shift from what it looks like initially to a post snap, a different coverage. And Aiden O'Connell doesn't know where to look because this is what Brian Flores does best. The crazy part is, Ivan Pace Jr. was the one calling that because he was wearing the green dot on the field in the absence of Jordan Hicks. And to put that responsibility on a rookie is just incredible to me, much less an undrafted one. So I really like him, and he's really coming strong. Yeah. I
love that. Okay, we're going to stick around. I don't know what you have planned for the next 10 minutes, but you cancel it because you're going to hang out with me and we're going to do, we're just going to have fun. I don't even know. Let me scour Twitter for something to talk about. Not Pop-Tarts, I'll tell you that much. You'll be back with the great Carmen Vitale, who's giving you all the goods in Tennessee North and everywhere. Feast of Seven Fishies. I still can't believe you did that. I really can't believe you did that.
I really did.
Have you done it before?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it with my family. I've never really so we hosted everyone. What?
You hosted everybody?
We hosted everyone. So Dave's family came in. My family was in.
Wait. The families had Christmas together? What?
Yeah. We live together now. We moved in together in Hermosa.
I've lived with every ex-boyfriend. I've never we've talked about this a lot because Taylor Swift met and Travis Kelce's parents met each other, and I said that's crazy. I would never introduce like that. That's like the level of seriousness that I'm stuck at. I've never had happen. I have never had my crazy parents meet any boyfriend's parents. Never.
Well, I mean, that I was hesitant because my mother's absolutely insane. So I was like, oh God. And his parents are like, his dad's a doctor, his mom's a nurse. I'm like, oh my God. And my mother is just, she comes in with the Opwatki. She literally got the Opwatki like blessed back in Florida. And she brought her own dried mushrooms for the pierogi filling with the sauerkraut.
Hold on. You know that this is live? Oh no.
No.
Oh, okay. Well. It's not that. It's just letting you. I thought you knew that. I'm sorry. I love you.
No, that's okay. We had the Opwatki, and my mom was, and so like Dave's parents were just like, they were like, "What is this?" Okay.
People need to understand. There's nothing more awkward. It's why I all post college for like 6 years. I avoided going home for that because it is so emotional and it's so like
Thank you. My God, you get it.
Emotional terrorism. And if anybody out there doesn't know, when you basically have to go around to everyone that you're having this meal with, this like meal that like it's like nostalgic, but it's not like delicious. It's not, it's not like Italian food. It's like weird. It's like a schledge and like fermented fish and like weird, whatever. Anyway, so you have this wafer, kind of like what you would have at like a Catholic mass, like for communion, and you go around and you wish people think, but it's not like as cute as it seems because it's a lot of like, I wish you'd have a baby. I wish you
it's like the passive aggressive aunts and uncles.
Yeah, I wish you'd stop cutting me off and interrupting. It's like, go ahead, what?
And then my mom is just weeping the entire time, just absolutely crying and can't like get a hold of herself. And I'm just like, stop.
It's terrorizing. It's traumatic. It's really traumatic. It's not as cute as it seems because that's bizarre. Okay, let's have fun here.
Okay.
Sound full. Okay.
Best quarterback of 2023, Brock Purdy. Hands down, just been absolutely surgical in that 49ers offense.
You can't shy away from Purdy.
I'm about to go Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy. I'm going Lamar Jackson. Action Jackson's been dangerous all year.
I'm taking my quarterback. I'm taking Baker.
My best quarterback of 2023 was Tua Tagovailoa. Confidence that he played with, leading league in passing yards right now, playing at an ultimate high of confidence, especially with the way he's talking to the media. So Tua Tagovailoa is my guy.
Okay, my gal is Carmen Vitale, Fox Sports. She's joining me now. I don't know how she balances in her entire life, but she does. She's making Feast of Seven Fishes. She's breaking down Ivan Pace Jr. She's doing it all. Let's play a little done or not done. Just very quick. Are you done with this or you're not done with this? Okay. Staying up till midnight on New Year's Eve.
I'm not done. Are you just done with all of this? I feel like all of this entire category is just Kay being like, done, done, done.
I could not. You could not pay me to be out. You could not pay me to be out at midnight on New Year's Eve.
I'm not gonna be out, but I want to stay up.
Keeping your Christmas tree holiday decorations up past New Year's.
Absolutely not done. I keep that. You got to keep it up at least till January 6th. I was raised very, very guiltily Catholic, so you have to leave it up till January 6th at least.
I think.
And then I put a lot of effort into my Christmas tree, so that thing is staying up for like a good month. Thank you.
I love that. Okay, how about random holiday texts from people that you haven't talked to in the last 5 years?
Oh, that's done. I didn't even get any this year. I was so happy. That's done.
What?
I didn't even get any this year. I'm like, that's done. That's I don't care to hear from people if I haven't heard from you in years. Also, just DM me on Instagram. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah. Stefan Diggs remaining in Buffalo beyond this season. Done or not done?
Ooh, now we're getting interesting. I don't think he's done there. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's.
Usage is going down, but balance the offense. If they win, who knows? If they get far in the season, they might have a hot team nobody's really talking about. Yes, I know we have a minute till off air. We got it. We're just going to do this until we're off air. So we are all set to go here. Keeping your New Year's resolutions or talking about them a lot. New year, new me. Where are you at with that? Done or not done?
Done. You gotta just be who you want to be when you want to be it. You don't have to if you need that to jumpstart yourself, fine. But I'm not gonna judge you for that. But I'm done. I'm not gonna talk about my New Year's resolutions. I don't even know what it is.
Bengals playoff chances. 93% chance, Carmen, if they win out. But they have to beat the Chiefs and the Browns.
I think I'm done. I'm done on the Bengals. Don't come for me,
we're
Bengals
done with Carmen Vitale.
Sorry. I don't know, like Jake Browning's one of those stories where he's good, but I don't know. Can it laugh?
It'd be tough. All right. I'm wishing you a happy new year, my little fish, my little feast of 7 fishes. You were the best. Good luck this weekend. Good luck to the Lions. Beat those Cowboys. Sorry, RJ Ochoa. We'll talk to you in 2024. Do widzenia, moja kochana. Bye, girl.
Bye.